Okay, welcome back to the channel. So just going to give three stocks that I think are a very good chance to go from the sub 50 million market cap to 500 million to $1 billion market cap. There is lots of other natural graphite stocks out there could do well, but these are some of the ones that I think are up there among the top players. Ones that can get into production and actually make money. So graphite, if you didn't know, goes in lithium-ion battery. You might know lithium's doing very well because when the short supply and the prices went up, they suspect this could happen to graphite 2025. So like lithium, there's a lot of lithium in the ground. It's just about, did they spend the money to get it out of there? This graphite's the same. There's a lot of graphite there, but they have to spend the money to actually get out of the ground. And if you can do that in a timely manner, you could win. And yeah, so these are the top ones I think. Starting with IG6, ASX stock, market cap 49 million, cash, I just looked at here, 6.5. I think it was 6.5. Do your own research. Just lost it now. 6.5 million cash. So they have this resource here, currently quite small, but they've got a lot of upside for drilling, as I'll show you here. So take in mind, a lot of these companies have big resources, or they would have if they drilled it out, but they don't want to waste 5 million here when they've already got a 10-year mine life here, if they don't have to spend that money just yet. So obviously they're not making any money because they're not getting out of the ground. So they got the mine here. So I'd say it could get to 20 to 30 year mine life, which is pretty decent. I wouldn't want to go anything less than 10-year mine life, even though it could be economical. Why not pick one that's going to have 30 years even if you don't need it? So yeah, they get the stuff out of the ground here. So it'd be a mixture of solar, wind, batteries, so it could be green, comes here, gets processed here. So this company has their own processing stuff. They're ordering the plant equipment now, because you get out of the ground, you make it into a sphere shape, or like more like a potato shape, then you coat it with stuff, and then you send it to China, and then China mixes stuff into a battery, or who knows, Australia might have its own battery stuff there. So yeah, might go to Bunbury and go to China, I'd say. Don't know, it could change, don't really care. So that's IG6, pretty much not more I can say. They get out of the ground here, go to 30-year mine life, truck it to here. Seems quite far, but even some other good players, if you look into them, they have to truck it quite far. And I know if they could process it here, they probably would. If it made sense, if it was a no-brainer, they probably would process it, but they probably worked out they want to process it here. I don't know, speak to Phil Hurst, ring him up and ask him. So that's IG6, so 50 million to buy the whole company, 6 million in cash. I say they're going to get help from the government, because the government wants to move the economy along, I guess. So that's IG6. So then there's ITM. So they don't have as much work on the downstream side as IG6. That's probably why they may be a bit more expensive, and also they don't have a huge resource. They have this big target here, which will probably give them a 50-year mine life. That's probably why I bought them. They've already drilled it. They've already hit good stuff. So obviously they've got to drill it more times, so they can call it a JORC resource. So they just did a capital raising. So where are we going back to here? 35 million. I think they have 8 million cash, which they'll be using to drill out that thing I just showed you. Oversubscribed placement, so I bought into that. You get them at 25 cents. You could actually bought it lower than the placement now. But if you bought in the placement $30,000, you pretty much made, given it stays around this price, you made $6,000 just by buying them. But they can go down and you lose more money. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about there. Here we go. And I will, this is not an edited video, so I'm going to talk a lot of crap and make mistakes. So they're also got a rare earth project and a kaolin project, which kaolin goes into ceramics, and it goes into high purity alumina, which also coats lithium-ion batteries. So that's a growing thing there, but I'm mainly in them for the graphite. Yeah, so they actually have a smaller JORC resource. Oh, I just missed it then. Smaller JORC resource, and then they'll have this big resource. Drill it out. They've got announcements about downstream as well. They can get to a spear. It's right near Renscore RNU, the $500 million company. So I'd say the difference between these guys and RNU is Renscore probably has a JORC resource of a lot of tons already. They got the government grant for $200 million. These guys could get the grant, I'm not sure. So there's a lot of good videos on the YouTube. This guy will go into what they're doing here. So they got rare earths. They got this kaolin and rare earths. So a lot of companies have rare earths as well. I'm not sure who's better with the rare earths, but rare earths get out of the ground, send it to China, and yeah. So a lot of videos. They have a lot of good videos to watch. If you didn't know, rare earths make the electric vehicle motors, or the magnets, which could also go into wind turbines. So that's why rare earths is a growth space as well. Here we are, 99% purity graphite produced from there. So they can get into the battery pretty much. So that's it for the ASX ones, and moving along to this one now. Mason Graphite, which it's on the TSX, about 20 million. Triple check this on other sites that say it's about $20 million. They have about 9 million in cash, as I'll just try to show you here. Where are we? 9 million cash, and they have 40% in this company, which is worth 28 million. So what's to say half? 15 million, bit less. It's about 10 million there, at least. And they got that much cash, and they got one of the biggest resources in the world for graphite. 25 years at 30% grade. So if you know graphite mining, that's huge grade, among the top players. For 25 years. So I'm not sure why they're so cheap. I always try and ring them. The guy never answers the phone, and you have to ring them late at night if you're in Australia. So I will try and ring this company to see what's going on, why they're so cheap, because I would have thought this would be definitely something again in production. So even if you bought here, thinking you were good, it's just gone so low. Oh, and sorry, I'll mention they're going to do sell off half the project. Yeah, that was a big thing I missed out. That's why you should always do your own research. So they've changed the business. They're more investment company now, so they're doing joint venture with Nivamon Graphite for a JV. They're going to give them 51%. They'll keep 49%. And Nivamon Graphite's already building their mine now. It's going to process it. So they got sort of the brains, and they're going to use that stuff on this big resource that Mason Graphite has. Taking to production. So yeah, you're only getting 49%. But in a way, companies like this might have to sell off their company to get into production anyway, because they're not going to get the $100 million, $200 million to build a mine out of nowhere. They're going to have to get an investor, and they'll want some of the shares. So obviously it's a game, like if the people in the company can get it with the least dilution, that's the best. Maybe that's why Mason Graphite's so low, I don't know, but it is a huge high grade resource. I said it has a pretty big capex because it's not close like this company here, pretty close to everything like main roads, trains, power. Mason Graphite, not so much on their big resource. Actually, saying that, they are pretty close, so do your own research. I'm just giving you the tips, what I think's good. Honorable mention, this one is right next to Mason Graphite, so they got high grade as well. 3 million to buy, and they got like 2 million in cash. I say they're just going to sit on it now because nothing is good, and then maybe when the share price goes up, they'll raise more money, drill it out. And I don't know, this, if you didn't know, PLS, who's printing money now, and it's gone bananas, right here was the same. Lithium was low, no one was buying it, no one was making money. You bought it here, you thought, damn, I hate my life. And look what happens, the market changes, shortfall, getting out of the ground. So this could potentially happen to Mason Graphite. Give me your thoughts on this. I don't see anything taking graphite out of the battery, unless something comes out of nowhere. It seems silicon is just going to assist graphite. I might just go into a few others if you're still around listening. This one, $50 million. Actually, we'll check that on this. I think they just did a share placement as well. They actually did a share placement at 0.018, so you can buy them for less than share placement. 60 million. They have this, I hope I can get to the website from here. They actually have a working mine already in Ukraine, so that's why they're probably not $500 million, because there's a war in Ukraine. And they've got a big thing in Africa as well. So, if I cancel this mine here. So I got 70% of this. It can do like the resource is small, but it's a JORC resource, and there's plenty more around. Apparently, with what they have to get for a JORC resource they're sort of standard. They've got heaps of mine life. They could take this to 100,000 tons and make 100 million a year with little cost because it's already working mine. So who knows what's going to happen with this war in Ukraine? But this mine's already there. They just got to upgrade it, and hopefully the war changes around, and these guys will go quite well. Yeah, so little money to spend to make money, just the war is the issue. And then they've got this one here, our projects. So this one is just it's not a working mine, it's just a project they've drilled out. Look at the numbers here. Where is it? Previously study. So all these graphite mines have a small stage and they build up to the bigger one. So they spend 173 million, then they make that much per year in EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. And yeah, and they can do that for 22 years. So quite high there, although they have to raise this money, and no one needs this much graphite right now. That's why we're waiting for 2025 to come around, 2030, when we will need this much graphite. Companies like this will do very well, especially if the war changes around. VRC, quite a good one. I'm trying to think top of my head, was there one more I want to talk about? VRC. We'll just leave it at that. There is other ones out there. What do you think the best graphite company is? Give me a note. These are companies, I'm talking to companies under 50 million, under 100 million, because that's where I reckon the most growth. If you can pick a winner there, you're gonna get the most upside, in my opinion. Like, why would you buy a company for $500 million? That's the question. If the company is going to make this, say this company goes up, gets to 500 million, why would you pay a lot more than you had to? Like, you buy it now, seeing into the future. So say this company gets to 500 million. If someone wants to buy the whole company, pay 500 million, and then they get this for, pay another 173. Sorry, I'm just saying, like, once a company goes up, there's not much more room for growth. Like, say this company is $500 million worth, and at the end of the project you're going to make 500 million. Why would anyone pay so much for a company to make that much money? Sorry, it was quite hard to get my point across, but a small company that's going to grow big, because once they get to a pretty big size, the X's on your dollar, like the 2x, 3x, is much harder to do, in my opinion. Some people think it's more risky, these stocks, but I think the sweet spot is finding the companies that are going to get into production and picking them before they do. Like GL1, bought around 40 million market cap, look like they're going to get in production, and they're on the way there now. This company, depending on lithium price and stuff, this could go to 2 billion, because they'll spend 100 million, 200 million dollars, and then maybe make that per year for until the supply catches up demand with lithium. So yeah, could go quite well. Yeah, apologize for the poor editing, but I don't edit. So that's what I'm about, picking a company that's going to get in production before everyone else picks it to get in production. Yeah, guess what? So 5,000. But if you bought them now, I don't think you're going to get the return that you got from here to here. Is what I'm saying. Like, the X's from here to here are better than the X's from here to here, which is obvious. But picking it before everyone else does, a company that you think will get into production because it's better than everyone else in certain areas. Apologize again for the poor editing. Don't care. Actually, I don't apologize. If you're watching this and you don't like it, then don't watch. Amen.